Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time of the week once again where we're going to go over my top 10 anime episodes for the week. We're going to start it all off in the same spot as we always should with our number 10. It is called The Night. Our vampire lovers are absolutely frothing in the mouth of this show. And spoilers ahead, because this was Suicide by Cop. But instead of cop, we are making it vampires. And instead of suicide, we are making it... Actually, that one's still saying. Because our detective has decided, hey, we're going to get a vampire to kill us. Because if the vampires kill us and we've left an evidence trail to lead it back to the vampires, then the vampires will all have to go away. Because we'll all just start hiding out inside, and they won't have anyone to feed on, and then they'll die. Except there's a couple of big problems with that. First of all, they just break into their houses. If you're not out on the street for them to feed on, they'll go into their houses. Second of all, we've seen in the past, vampires that don't feed get aggressive. And these guys have super strength at the best times. They're going to break down doors if you don't let them feed. But yeah, outside of that, it was a good episode. We got to see our main man actually understanding how things work, because the detective made it seem like she'd sent him a message to lead him here. But in reality, he just went to all the places that he thought would connect them together, and this was like the third place he went. But that's going to bring us on to our number 9 slot. We have the Mikadono Sisters, where we featured mostly on Miwa. Miwa. Who has a shoji tournament coming in this episode, where we actually get to see it because she forgot her lunch and main man has to go and deliver it. Which is great. We also get to see her struggling with the idea of maybe I'm not the best at this, which I feel like we are seeing everyone struggling with over the course of this show, except for you. You knows he's not the best at anything, so he's all good with it. But yeah, this show is great because I feel like this is the highest edge of I can understand this show, where these people are coming from perfectly. But also, it's right on the cusp of being, no, this is too much. Which, that's a great line to be edging, and I am all for it. 100% all for edging. Up to our number 8 slot with Watari-kun, where we got to see the after effects of telling his girlfriend no, because he didn't think they were ready for it. I mean, I get that. Could have just made out a little bit. I feel like making out with her a little bit would have solved the problem, because, hey, our relationship is still developing. Your girlfriend's not going to think that you hate her, and also, you get to make out with a pretty girl. I don't see the loss. We also get to see him going on a little date with Pinkie Pie here, and I hated that. I dislike Pinkie Pie on a fundamental level, but they did get permission to go on it. We also got to see Blondie in her work uniform, which cowgirls in a steakhouse is definitely a good choice. But yeah, overall, this was a good, fun episode. We got to see both the main girl and F Cups struggling with the idea of the main guy in F Cups struggling with the idea of where their relationship is going and why the other one's not talking to them. It's just because they're socially awkward. But yeah, this is always a fun romp. I feel like I'm saying that about everything tonight. You know what was definitely a fun romp, and definitely not the same nice, calm experience that these other shows have been? Gachi Akira. Where... Actually, this is the least aggressive episode of the show we've seen. Because we got to see the guy that's been tagging everything around the cities dies. Which, terrible thing to hear. But also, we find out that he's actually been tagging the place because his giver item is a spray paint can that is somewhat sentient. or at the very least cognizant. It can tell when the person has bestowed the will to another person, and it will be usable by them, which is great. It turns out that a lot of the graffiti art is actually there for protection for the locations. That's why the monsters can't get inside. And people get tagged up by him so that they can be stronger. And I love that as an idea. I've used that in my D&D campaigns before. But I love the fact that this guy has a bestowing ability. Well, this person now, because the heir for it is a young non-binary person. And I love the fact that they're in this town that's all about freedom of self-expression. And they end everything because it's just so sad. They're like, no, I'm done with being sad. He wouldn't want us to be sad. And tags the roof of a building in a way that makes fireworks pop out of the top of the building. They're like, this is excellent. This is some great showing of self-expression and how we can be sad but still enjoy everything at the same time. It's how, genuinely, it's how I think that death should be treated. But I'm a bit of a weirdo with that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're going to move on to our 5th episode. We have Outcasts, which is the Outcast restaurant. Which, this episode, man, this episode smashed some shit because a restaurant got burnt down and we found out who did it and who caused it and why. Not really the why. I think the why was just, hey, we don't like this guy. This guy has thrown wrenches into all of our plans. And so, sorry. And so he had a coalition of villains coming after him. And I'll be honest, I love to see it. But what I love to see even more is them basically projecting out the confession of what everyone did to outside, where they have a bunch of influential mages just sitting out there, listening to it all happen. And it was excellent. I also love the fact that his way of doing it was the first dish that we saw him make in this show, and also one that's been like a pivotal thing in his life, being fried rice. It was just such a good culmination of everything. In our number 6 slot, we have The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, where we got to have a friendly episode. We had everyone coming over to the house, and we got to see the backstory of the hair. Although now that I'm thinking about it, that may have been the episode beforehand. If I'm wrong, let me know down below. But I'm 8 minutes into a video, and I'm not re-recording this again because it's almost it's after midnight. God damn. Yeah, it is great seeing how some of these characters relate to each other. It's great seeing our main man is actually coming to terms with the fact that he has feelings for a girl, which, dude, you're in high school. It's going to happen to 99% of people. Not everyone. We have our aces and we have our arrows, but it's going to happen to most people. And I love the fact that it's just their relationship is just pure. It is nice. It is chill. There's no expectations from everyone, and it's seemingly bleeding into the friends. And I love the fact that the Shibuya, I believe her name is, something to that effect, the friend with the silver green hair, messages him and is like, hey, she's not going to tell you, but her birthday is during the holidays, so might want to pick something up for that. And I love the fact that everyone's kind of just backing these two now. Great to watch. In our number, I think, 4 slot, we have Sunpok, which I have not spoken about this season. This is a double season show. I think we've got either 1 or 3 episodes left of it. And, oh, man. We got to see what the fuck was the deal with Yumi. the little purple-haired girl. And Jesus. So she is the main character's daughter, with the girl at the front right over here. And she has time travel powers. Kind of. She basically can project herself into the past temporarily. She's the reason this summer has repeated over and over. She is trying to find a way to stop her mother from dying. Her mother dies because she finds out that Umi sent herself back in time because she was so sad. And it is terrible because they are getting the same situation in different ways. The mother is getting the sight of her daughter dying, her daughter being depressed because of her dying, and is trying to find a way to stop her from being able to go back in time. The daughter sees her mother die, sees her father not coping with it, and then travels back in time to stop her mother from dying. Both of which are just projections back in time in different ways. And it shows this girl trying everything she can to try and stop her mother from dying over and over and over. It is just a masterclass in how to use time travel in shows. It's so fucking well done. But yeah, it's also depressing as shit. And now we're getting to see what happens before, or in a different time to when it should be, and it's fucking great. Next up in our number 3 slot, we have My Dress Up Darling, where when we last left off, we were buying energy drinks and someone thought we were buying rubbers. And now we're both anxious because we got rained on. Our main man is wearing an Ahigo jumper, which is a choice. Sorry. And we have she thinks he's being more assertive because she's almost primed herself for that mentality. And he's just trying to do everything he can to play through this game. And it fucks his head up because, honestly, the plot of it is kind of fucky. I wonder if it's actually based on a game in real life. But it's like all of the sisters in this game are just delusions and different personalities that the main character has created to be able to survive because of fucked up shit that happened. Yeah, it's not the important part. The important part is that he ends up staying up all night. She passes out on the couch, so he carries her back to her bed. And that's when she realizes, it comes out when she wakes up, sees him sitting there absolutely distraught because of the ending of this game. And it's just like, you didn't do anything. And he's like, I can't do anything right now. And she sees the energy drinks and it all clicks. And it's great. We also get to see, apparently one of the girls, no, that happened in the previous episode. We got to see him discussing it with the other members of the group chat. And I'm pretty sure this episode we also saw the sisters getting their costuming ready and doing the hair in the wigs. It was great fun. I always fucking love watching this. And it's the ending for the peaceful stuff of the week, because at our number 2 slot we have Dun Dun Dum. And this episode was great. Apart from one thing only. And that was the character that we introduced this week, who, from what I've heard, is a long-standing recurring character. And I hate him. He is just the most annoying sack of shit. And the biggest problem I have with this guy is the fact that he's straight told, hey, what you're saying isn't funny. What you're saying is gross and creepy. Please stop. Well, not please stop. Aggressively stop, or we'll hurt you. And he just doubles down on it and keeps on being creepy, if not creepier than he was previously. And it's like, dude, you were told stop. But he keeps on going. I would love it if he didn't do that, so he could be the nerdy friend that Okaru needs. I'm trying to work out how this guy's going to get his supernatural powers, or is he going to be the guy in the chair for them? I did love the fact that we got a Godzilla. I'm loving the fact that we got a Godzilla. Yeah, we got to see a fight between a creature that was cradling a gold ball and was invisible, and the main guys. The creepy nerd guy does help out significantly because he works out, hey, this is refractive technology. So if there's one of us on 3 different sides, he won't be able to refract properly. Which, I mean, I feel like if it's an alien and it's technology, the technology is definitely going to be able to do it. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, this was great, apart from that one nerdy guy. And in our number 1 slot for the week, you guess it is To Be Hero X, where we followed Ahu, the dog. And I love Ahu. I love the fact that he was a clown dog. He was just a normal ass dog that was dressed up in clown costumes until the day he bit a fucker. Which, honestly, he lasted longer than I would, and I don't mean if I was a dog. Because these kids kept on stretching out his face and pinching him and just being absolute shits to him. Which, where are the parents? Where is the handler? Somebody should have been telling these kids to stop it. But he fights off this guy that can clone himself, but like they're ink clones apparently, or something like that. We got to see how X's ability works from an outside perspective, because the ink clones and X were fighting on a wall in a 2D space while we were still in Ahu's realm, where we were actually watching them running on the wall. That was really cool to watch. But we also, at the end of this episode, Nice had those people working for him because he failed at this and he's had fear splashed on him. He is rapidly declining in his mental health, and he wraps around to the very first episode because he's about to jump off a building. That's going to do it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed what we've put out tonight. If you have, don't forget to hit that sub button down below and ring that bell so you can get told every time we're going to put out a video. But yeah, that's going to be it. I've been Faith, you've been awesome, and I'll see you